What if we told you this summer's transfer window feels less like business and more like a reunion tour? Forget the fresh-faced youngsters and big-money signings for a moment. This summer is all about familiar faces cropping up in some very familiar places. From forgotten heroes to unfinished stories, football's biggest names are circling back to the clubs where it all began. And trust me, the emotions are high. These are players who bled the colors, who lived and breathed the badge, and who etched their names into the hearts of fans. Now they're back for a second bite at the cherry. Buckle up, because some of these returns could shock the football world. First up, we're heading to Goodison Park, where a familiar face could be donning the blue jersey once again. Richarlison, the Brazilian livewire who tore up the Premier League with his passion and goals, might just be heading back to Everton after a difficult spell at Spurs. Let's be honest, things haven't quite gone to plan for him in North London, have they? Injuries, pressure, and a dip in form. It's fair to say he needs a fresh start, and who better to offer him that than the club where he truly blossomed? Everton are desperate for goals, and a fit and firing Richarlison could be the answer to their prayers. But is it really the right move for both parties? Can Richarlison rediscover his mojo and fire Everton back up the table? Or is this a desperate gamble for a club and a player both yearning for the glory days? Only time will tell. Next, we travel to Elland Road, where the roar of the crowd could be welcoming back one of their own. Calvin Phillips, the midfield general who swapped Leeds for the bright lights of Manchester City, might just be heading back to Yorkshire. His big money move to the Etihad hasn't quite panned out, with limited game time leaving him frustrated and itching to prove himself. And where better to do it than the club that adores him? Leeds are back in the big time, and they're crying out for a leader in the middle of the park. A return to Elland Road could be the perfect tonic for both player and club, a chance for Phillips to reignite his career and for Leeds to re-establish themselves as a Premier League force. Just imagine it. Phillips back in white, dictating play, breaking up attacks, and driving Leeds forward. It's a mouth-watering prospect for any fan, and you can bet the atmosphere at Elland Road would be electric if this one comes off. From one homecoming to another, could Jack Grealish be set for a sensational return to his boyhood club, Aston Villa? After a glittering but ultimately trophy-laden spell at Manchester City, the England star might be tempted by the allure of familiar surroundings and the chance to become a legend all over again. Over 200 appearances, that iconic claret and blue shirt, and a connection with the Villa faithful that runs deeper than the River Trent, Grealish's time at Villa Park was the making of him. Now, with City's star-studded squad limiting his game time, could a move back to the Midlands be on the cards? Just picture it. Grealish back at Villa Park, weaving his magic, scoring wonder goals, and inspiring a new generation of villains. It's a tantalizing thought for any football fan, and one that could turn this transfer window on its head. Chapter 4, Jadon Sancho, back to the yellow wall. Our next story takes us to Germany, where Jadon Sancho's footballing journey might be coming full circle. After a difficult spell at Manchester United, the flying winger is being heavily linked with a move back to Borussia Dortmund, the club where he truly announced himself to the world. It hasn't been easy for Sancho at Old Trafford. The weight of expectation, coupled with the cut and thrust of the Premier League, has seen him struggle to replicate the form that made him one of Europe's hottest properties. But back in Dortmund, under the familiar lights of the Westfalenstadion, he could rediscover the joy and freedom that made him such a thrilling player to watch. Dortmund fans haven't forgotten the magic Sancho conjured in their famous yellow shirts, and the thought of him returning to electrify the yellow wall is enough to send shivers down the spine of any football fan. Could this be the move that reignites his career and brings a smile back to his face? Chapter 5. Christian Eriksen, an emotional return to Ajax. Sometimes football is about more than just trophies and transfer fees. Sometimes it's about heart, about loyalty, about a bond that goes beyond the pitch. And that's exactly what Christian Eriksen's potential return to Ajax Amsterdam represents. This isn't just a transfer, it's a love story. Eriksen, who suffered a cardiac arrest while playing for Denmark at Euro 2020, made his name with the Dutch Giants, enchanting fans with his vision and passing range. Now, after a spell with Brentford and Manchester United, he might just be heading back to the place where it all began. It would be an emotional reunion, a testament to the power of football to bring people together. Can Eriksen rediscover his top form in familiar surroundings? Only time will tell, but one thing's for sure. The football world would be united in wishing him well. Next up, we head to Portugal, where another prodigal son could be on the verge of a heartwarming return. João Felix, the Portuguese wonder kid, might just be heading back to Benfica, the club that launched his meteoric rise. His time at Atletico Madrid has been a mixed bag, with glimpses of brilliance overshadowed by inconsistency and tactical differences. A return to Benfica, where he first burst onto the scene, could be the perfect opportunity for him to rediscover his mojo and fulfill his immense potential. Imagine it. Felix, back in the famous red and white stripes, dancing past defenders, scoring breathtaking goals, and reminding everyone why he was once considered one of the most exciting young talents in world football. It's a tantalizing prospect and one that Benfica fans will be praying comes to fruition. Hold on to your hats, folks, because this one's a real head-turner. Jamie Vardy, the Leicester City legend who defied all odds to become a Premier League champion, could be about to embark on a new chapter in his incredible career, with Sheffield Wednesday. That's right, you heard me correctly. Vardy, the man who went from non-league hero to Premier League icon with the Foxes, is being linked with a move to Hillsborough. After a glittering career at the King Power Stadium, could he be tempted by the challenge of firing Wednesday back to the Premier League? It would be a fairy tale ending to a fairy tale career. Vardy, back in his hometown, rolling back the years and leading the Owls on an unforgettable journey. It's the kind of story that football is made of, and you can bet that the entire football world would be cheering them on. And finally, we come to the big one, the rumor that's got everyone talking. Lionel Messi, the greatest footballer of all time, is being linked with a sensational return to Barcelona. It's the stuff of dreams, isn't it? After a difficult spell at Paris Saint-Germain, could Messi be heading back to the Camp Nou for one last dance? The thought of him pulling on that iconic Blaugrana shirt again, of him weaving his magic in front of the adoring Camp Nou faithful, is enough to send shivers down the spine. It would be the perfect ending to the most extraordinary career football has ever seen. Messi, back where it all began, back home, ready to write the final chapter of his legendary story. The world is watching and waiting with bated breath. So there you have it, folks. 8 potential homecoming stories, each more captivating than the last. These aren't just transfers, they're emotional roller coasters, filled with nostalgia, hope, and the chance to rewrite history. So, which of these dream reunions do you think will actually happen? Will we see Richarlison back at Goodison Park? Will Calvin Phillips return to his beloved Ellen Road? Will Messi grace the Camp Nou turf once more? Drop your picks in the comments, hit that like button if you felt a bit nostalgic, and subscribe for more stories where football meets emotion.